This is the second part now. I have already analyzed first two stanzas of The Solitary Reaper by William Wordsworth. Now I will analyze the next two stanzas. Will no one tell me what she sings? Perhaps the plaintive numbers flow for old unhappy, far off things and battles long ago. Or is it some more humble lay, a familiar matter of today, some natural sorrow, loss, or pain that has been and may be again? In my previous lecture, I mentioned about the point of melancholy in romantic movement. Melancholy was a very important trait with the romantics. We have seen in the first stanza that there is the melancholy strain. Melancholy means dukh. Sadness is there in her song. Similarly, in the third stanza, in the second line, we should note that there is again a point of sadness in her song. Wordsworth mentions the plaintive numbers. Plaintive means the sad numbers, and again here in the second last line, some natural sorrow, loss, or pain. So there is pain in her song. Let us analyze the third stanza. Will no one tell me what she sings? He cannot guess what she is singing because he cannot understand the dialect in which she is singing. Dialect means bhasha. Perhaps the plaintive numbers flow. He then guesses that maybe she is singing about something sad. For old, unhappy, far off things. She could be singing about something, some old memory, some unhappy events, some far off things that had happened some years ago and battles long ago. Even she could be singing about some battles that happened long ago. Or is it some more humble lay? Lay is actually a song or a lyric. So her song could be about something humble, something normal. Here, let us mention that William Wordsworth writes about the common people. So she is actually a reaper, a cutter who is cutting the grass. She is a common man, and her theme also would be very, very common. That is why it is said humble lay. Familiar matter of today. It could be also a familiar matter, a day to day affair of the family. Some natural sorrow, loss, or pain. There must be some sorrow, some sadness, some loss of her dear ones, or something painful, some painful event that might have happened. So, remembering that, she must be singing. And how he came to know? Because the tone of the song showed that it was something very, very painful that was coming out of her heart. That has been and maybe again. Now, the last stanza. Whatever the theme, the maiden sang, as if her song could have no ending. I saw her singing at her work and over the sickle bending. I listened motionless and still, and as I mounted up the hill, the music in my heart I bore long after it was heard no more. The last four lines are not here in this text. Students, you kindly see it in your own text. Now I will analyze the last stanza. Whatever the theme the maiden sang, as if her song could have no ending. So that is immaterial, whatever the theme it was. But she went on continuously. Her song was infinite. It was not ending. It did not cease. It went on continuously. I saw her singing at her work and over the sickle bending. She was working constantly and at the same time she was singing. I listened motionless still, but the poet listened to her without making any movement. And with great concentration, he listened to the song because he was so much delighted by the voice and the depth of her song. And as I mounted up the hill, the music in my heart I bore, long after it was heard no more. This line is the most important line of the poem. The music in my heart I bore. That is, he always remembered this music and he never forgot this music because here, as in the romantic poetry, emotion and imagination play a vital role. This music was instilled deep in his heart because he was affected by the sound of the solitary reaper's song and he never forgot this music. Now let me analyze this in the summary wise. The solitary reaper, behold her single in the field, yon solitary highland lass. This is the first stanza. The poet tells us about a young girl of Scotland. He tells us to look at the girl who is reaping grain and also singing a sweet song. She is all alone. That is, she is solitary. She sings some sad tune. He tells the readers to listen to this song as the whole valley is overflowing with the sound of the music. The whole valley is resounding with her sound. Second stanza, no nightingale did ever chant more welcome notes to weary bands. She is singing in a field while she works. It is a sad song, but it is more thrilling than a cuckoo song in the Hebrides and different from a nightingale's song. Third stanza, will no one tell me what she sings? Perhaps the plaintive numbers flow. The poet loves the song, but he cannot understand anything. He wonders if she is singing about old battles, sad things, forever ago, or if she is singing about something more humble. Whatever the theme, the maiden sang as if her song could have no ending. He notes that she is singing as if her song will never end. He watches enraptured, not moving at all. At the end, he quietly walks away, keeping the reader's music in his heart for a long time after. Thank you.